and do it. And to your point earlier, which was so solid, get to the pain, get to where it's not just the problem, but what is that problem costing them? What's the impact? What happens if nothing changes? And so I'm constantly training lawyers on how to take people down like a path to be understanding. What are some tips or thoughts that you have on that particular subject?
Sure. So, there's this misconception that people hate sales. They hate people. They hate being sold, right? And you've probably heard the saying, people love to buy, but they hate to be sold, right? Sure. Have you ever heard that?
Oh yeah.
That's completely false.
Oh,
people love to buy and they love to be sold. What they hate is they hate bad sales experiences, right? I mean, so like this thing right here, the iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you heard about an iPhone? Like,
yeah,
that was like I was so excited. Like, do you remember the feeling of that? Like, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm buying a Tesla. And I'm going on Friday. I'm going to test drive it. I'm so excited about this entire process, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. I have
one. But it's a great sales experience, right? I stood in line for 5 hours for my first iPhone, at the Florida Mall. I just stood in line for it. I had a lot more time back then. But people love to buy and they love to be sold. What they hate is they hate bad sales experiences. So the reason that people have bad sales experiences is because they're convincing instead of persuading. Now, this is the difference. When you're convincing someone to do something, you are trying to get them to do something for your reasons, right? When you're persuading someone, you are attempting to get them to do something for their reasons. So what do I mean by that? What you have to do is you have to figure out what is the outcome that they desire, right? And show them that you are their best chance of achieving that outcome, right? So I have something I call the airplane test. And it's a test that I always tell lawyers to figure out, are you talking about the right thing in your sales pitch, right? So I always tell this thing. So my wife and I, we went to Cancun a couple of years ago for our anniversary. We try to go every year, but the first time we went, we hired a travel agent. And the travel agent, did the research for us and found the hotels. And then she got on the phone with us and she's like, okay, here's the hotel that I think you should go to. It's really cool. It's got all you can eat and all you can drink. It's adult friendly, it's adult only. So there's no kids and we have 3 kids. So definitely excited about that. Our room has a private pool. We actually have our own butler. There's 7 restaurants. It's right on the beach. They bring you drinks on the beach and all the food that you want on the beach. And you have your own cabana, like tiki hut and all that type of stuff. Right. But the one thing she didn't tell us about, do you know what it was? Have you heard this story before?
There's alligators in your room.
No alligators. The one thing she didn't tell us about is the airplane ride. She didn't tell us about the airplane ride that takes us to Mexico, that takes us to the resort, right? And the reason why is because the airplane ride sucks. Nobody wants the airplane ride, right? So you think about all the stuff that has to happen with the airplane ride. You get to the airport 2 hours early, then you got to check your bags, and you got to go through the international terminal, then you got to go through TSA, then you got to get in line for the plane, then you got to find your gate, and you got to, get on the plane, then get off the plane, go through customs, get your bags, and figure out how am I going to get, in a third world country, how am I going to get from the airport to like nobody wants that. It sucks, right?
Right.
But the airplane is the vehicle that gets you to the destination. What they want is they want the resort. They don't want the airplane ride, right?
Yeah.
The problem is most lawyers are selling the airplane ride. Most lawyers are like, you need a bankruptcy. We'll do a chapter 13 or a chapter 11 or a chapter 7 bankruptcy, or you need a divorce, or you need whatever it is, an estate plan, right? But that's the vehicle that gets them to the resort. The resort is they want to be free from their debt. They want to buy a house. They want to fix their credit. They want, and even further than that, why do they want a house? They want a house because they've been living in an apartment for 5 years and their kids are 9 and 11 years old, 2 boys, and they're sharing a room and they're constantly fighting. And their wife is always complaining about the kitchen being too small in their apartment, and they just need to get out of this thing. Or maybe they're sick of driving a piece of crap car because they have terrible credit and they want to fix their credit and they want to have that ego boost, right? So that's what they want. They don't want a bankruptcy. The bankruptcy is the vehicle that allows them to get to the thing that they want, right?
Right.
So when you understand not specifically, specifically what they want and then specifically why they want it. So you understand they want to buy a new house. And the reason they want to buy a new house is because their wife wants a new kitchen and their kids are sharing a room and they need their own bedroom and the dog needs a yard to run in and everything. Then you can help them understand that their best chance of getting that house and getting that dream kitchen and getting the kids their own room and getting the yard is if you help them take care of their financial problems now. And the way that you're going to do that is through a chapter 7 or 13 bankruptcy or whatever it is, right? But
Yep,
you're always selling the result, and the result is the thing that they want, not what you're trying to sell. You know, and that's the biggest. If I can teach one thing about, like, that's all you need to know
That's
about
the big
sales.
takeaway. That's the big takeaway
that's all you
right
need
there.
to know about sales.